Hello, travelers. Welcome to this abandoned space station. It's I, Delirium, the star inhabiting side of the abandoned space station, and today we are continuing with Stellifier on our route to romance Frey. In the previous stream, we mostly got we mostly did Hawkins' good ending, honestly. Um, but yeah, today, and we did do day one of Frey's route. Today I would like to do at least day 2 and day 3. And possibly maybe day 4. We will not do day 5 because day 5 immediately throws you into ending territory, and I'm not going through that again. Especially as well, if you can hear my voice, and my throat's a little bit hit today, but it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, we'll do day 2, day 3, and if my voice hasn't decided that actually I'm gonna stop functioning, we'll do day 4 as well. But yeah. Okay, let's see. What do we do? Well, we're really not doing this or this one because we're trying to go for Frey. We'll do Michael after Frey. We've gotten Hawkins already, we'll do Michael afterwards. Well, let's go and conduct interviews. And then I guess attend press event. I'm mostly going off of it because of like the question marks and stuff. I'm thinking maybe this will do something. Oh, I'm like, my hope is that if the game knows I'm going for Frey, it just makes it easier for me to get Frey events. Okay. I think we're good. Despite the traffic, I managed to arrive earlier to the H20 office today. It's almost a miracle considering how backed up the streets were, and all because of a little rain. At least now, I don't have to worry about going anywhere until I'm done with today's batch of interviews and sit-ins. With it still being early, most of the staff are either in their morning meetings or have yet to arrive. Even Stellifier isn't scheduled to be around for another few more minutes, or at least that's what their schedule says. I guess I could use the extra minutes to review my questions, especially if I'll be sitting with Michael and Hawkins today. Aw, man. I was expecting Frey. Fuck. On their own, they're already a handful, but together, ugh. Well, at least I'll be spared from having to be cornered by the complete trio today. Heading into the music studio, I immediately noticed someone sprawled over the couch. Oh, wait, who is that? I suddenly stepped in for a closer look, my hands gripping my umbrella just in case. Because you fucking hit them with the umbrella? Okay. Hold on. What's Frey doing? Never mind. I never win. I never... I'm tired. I want to go to sleep. Never mind. I'm ending stream. I'm going to bed. Like that. 5-minute stream. That's enough. I'm going to bed. Anyways. No, sorry. Hold on. What's Frey doing here? I don't even think he's scheduled to come in until the afternoon today. Curious, I lean against the couch for an even closer look. He's still peacefully asleep, with his shirt half unbuttoned as if he gave up before plopping onto the couch. His chest rises and falls with every deep, prolonged breath he gives, followed by the soft rumbling of a groan. I don't think I've ever seen someone sleep so peacefully. Knowing his schedule, though, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the first real sleep he's had in days. I just hope that isn't the case. Looking over to the nearby coffee table, I sadly have my answer. So, he's been working on something? They look like lyrics. I also see some sheet music here. I didn't realize what they were working on even near material for after the concert, unless this is some kind of side project. I wonder if he left any notes on it. As I reach for the sheets, Frey stares awake and clamps his hand right over mine. I cannot speak. Those aren't yours? Oh no, busted. I try to remain calm as Frey sits up without letting go of me. With a single yawn, he barely has time to care for the view he's giving me as his shirt almost slips. We just started. As his shirt almost slips off his muscled shoulders. What time is it even? It's almost 8:30. At once he stops. Seriously? Knowing he won't believe me, I show him the time on my phone. See? 8:30. Not again. Again? Frey doesn't say anything and instead stumbles straight for the bathroom. I soon hear the sound of running water, followed by an existential groan. When he finally returns, I can tell he's barely holding on after dousing himself with cold water to his face. Damn, I hate this. How is it even 8:30 when the sun isn't even out yet? You might have to blame it on the rain. Rain? Oh, great. Just what I need to make it on time. Told the poetry club I was going to review their submissions before their contest, thinking I'd be at the campus by 7. Some schedule, huh? Is there any way you can tell them you'll be late? Even if I did, most of them were counting on me to review their pieces before the deadline. Being late has never been an option in this world, or even the other. Watching him collect his things, I can't help but notice how he's still in last night's clothes. Surely someone's going to notice his walk of shame, but are they going to assume it's anything but for writing lyrics? Okay. How long do you think you'll take at your place to get changed? Who said anything about needing to head home? Without another word, Frey strides over to the closet and pulls out a pristine garment bag. Okay, this dude. As soon as he unzips it open, I find myself wishing he was the one I'd be interviewing today. So, do you always keep a spare suit in there? For times like these? Yes. Is that a problem? Not at all. I mean, I get it, but can you blame me for wanting to know how regularly this happens? It doesn't happen often enough for me to keep more than one suit in there, but enough to be needing the spare. Does that answer your question? As I keep silent, Frey heads back to the bathroom to get dressed. Being with the door between us, I still turn around to give him space. Still, I can hear the rustling all the way from here as he lets his crinkled shirt fall while slipping on a crisp new shirt. Once I hear him unzip his... That's when I know I should stop listening. I keep telling myself that that's what I should be doing, but am I even listening right now? I did get an eyeful of him on the couch earlier, even if I didn't mean to. You should be almost done changing anyway, right? Despite trying to keep my composure, my face keeps growing hotter while waiting for him to return. By the time he does, Frey simply raises an eyebrow at me. What is it now? I have to choose the first one. Meeting his gaze, I hold my hand out to him. Hand over your tie, Professor. What for? You're already running late as it is, right? So, just hand it over. While conflicted, Frey reluctantly brings himself to hand me his midnight black tie. At once, I get to smoothing out his collar first before slipping his tie on. Frey goes silent, surprised by my careful precision. You're faster than I thought it was this. I might know a thing or two about all-nighters, even if I don't wear ties myself. Still, you're natural at it. And here I saw you were asking for my tie for something else. The fuck do you were expecting, boy? What for then? Frey waits until I slip the end through the knot before raising another eyebrow at me. Would you really like to know? You're worse than Hawkins somehow. Bro is worse than Hawkins somehow. His tone alone oh my god, can I speak? His tone alone gives it all away, and I soon notice the way he lingers at my hands whenever they trail near his shoulders. Tell me, is this why you're so good at tying things up? Boy! You're making it hard for me to keep a straight face, you know. I know. That's the plan. I recognize his smile as I pull back to admire my handiwork. Look at you now. Now nobody will dare to question whether you pull an all-nighter or not. With your skills, perhaps I could have gotten away with being tied up. Okay. I know last night without anybody being okay. We just started. With a taunting grin, he leans and prods me to tug on his tie. Just check it for me one last time, will you? Why for? I know I did a good job with it. But that's not why I was asking you to do it. He takes my hands in his, then wraps my fingers around his tie. All I want is another minute of this before I head back to reality. Snickering, Frey tugs on his tie as he pulls back to check himself in the mirror. Not bad, I think. Passable. I honestly don't think I would have much to get any more ready than this. The last thing I need right now are Hawkins and Michaels finding me here. You might have to move even more quickly then. My interview with them is supposed to start in 5 minutes. I guess no breakfast it is then. Slipping on his coat, he checks himself over one last time, starting with his cuffs and tie. Well, I'm off. Suddenly, we both hear someone whistling their way to the door. Before either of us can react, Hawkins and Michaels come waltzing in with their matching guitar cases. What's going on here? Nothing. Now that I've got a meeting in a few minutes. Hold it, Prince. Your white horse can wait a moment, can it? You know it can't. Still, you're going to have to at least tell me why you had Altair here. And slipping your coat back on, I see? Okay, Hawkins. So I'm guessing you weren't just here for 5 minutes if you had to take it off, Gritting his teeth, Frey looks over to Michael for help. Tell me why I'm doing this again. Because you know whatever fantasies Hawkins has are all they are? Just his fantasies? In all honesty though, what is going on? We weren't expecting you for another couple more hours. I was on the way to work and thought to drop off our lyrics, that's all. Altair happened to already be here when I got there. Oh, so he's willing to lie to protect his secret. Ah yes, his secret of sleeping on the couch. I turned to him, waiting for him to give me some kind of signal to play along. Just as he tries, Hawkins clears his throat at the two of us. Well, I know better than to ask you directly for answers, so I might just have to go on to a more reputable witness. Altair, darling, did he really stop by just now, or am I going to have to suspect you too? I feel like the last one. I don't know, last choice was good with me on Hawkins' route, so I'm gonna go with last one as well here. Why is everything so scandalous with you? Me? Why not him? He's the one trying to play innocent in front of our noses. I know he wasn't just here to say hello and head off on his merry way to school. If he was, then why would he need to take off his coat? What if I was just cold, Hawkins? Don't pretend like this studio isn't like an eternal winter sometimes. As true as that is, I can tell when you're lying through your teeth. Now the question is, why? The more you refuse to tell me, the more I'll be led to think of the wildest story possible. And if you keep silent, then I might just start to believe it myself. As much as I'm trying to stay out of it, I'm starting to realize that I've only made it worse. I look to Frey, wondering if he has a plan from this point onward. I stand by what I say, though. Hawkins really knows how to take the mile, even when he hasn't been afforded an inch. I can see the frustration lingering. I can see the frustration lingering in Frey's eyes as he tries to reason with himself with what's at stake. If you really must know, Altair doesn't have anything to do with why I'm here. So if you want to question me, you'll have to bring me in alone. Fine then. So why are you here? I told you already, I was dropping off the lyrics. You weren't just here for a 5-minute drop-off though. Don't tell me how I know. The only way I assume you would is if you checked my bed last night. Uh-huh. Almost as if you wouldn't want neither Michael and I knowing who you were really hooking up with if you brought him back to our... Hawkins, sweetie. I told you that's not it. For the love of God, this is exactly why I wanted to leave sooner. But you slept in, didn't you? Yes, and I had my... and I hate myself for that. I didn't even think to put an alarm since I'd planned on coming home right after finishing those lyrics. Well, if you're already running late, then you want to try slowing things down for a bit and just chill here until the afternoon? Michael and I promised Altair an interview, so the couch can be yours until then. As tempting as that is, you know I can't do that. That's only because you never let yourself go there. With all this talk of freedom, you know who's the only one stopping you from taking things easier? But what do I know, right? I'm just some lad who didn't finish college because I wanted to tour across the country with my guitar. Really, I don't know what it means to push my limits. Oh, what just happened? What just happened? What just happened? The room goes silent, leaving Frey to be the one to make a choice. For a moment, as he turns to his back, I can almost imagine him giving in and settling himself back down on the couch. But to imagine that would be denying who Frey really is. Grabbing for his bag, Frey consoles them with a smile as he makes his way to the door. I'll be back later, alright? At least by then, I'll have one less thing to keep me from giving you all what you really love. My undivided attention. Once he shuts the door, Michael laments with a sigh. He'll learn eventually. Do you really think he will? I suppose he has to at some point. Oh, that was Michael. Quite frankly, we all do. Yippee! Oh, I got an I got an achievement. God, I cannot speak for shit. Okay, I was like, no. Yay. I will do, both endings for Frey, I think. But if I do, I probably will do, like, we'll try for the good ending, hopefully. And if we don't get the good ending, and we get the neutral ending, I'll do the same thing I did with Hawkins. Okay. Press event. Please give me Frey again. There's a press event tonight at H20's office, and everyone's invited. Well, it's for mostly everyone who's with the press. There's also quite a number of other Nighthawk employees here, as well as colleagues. With Stellifier trending pages lately, it's not surprising that everybody's now trying to catch a few sound bites out of them. Sipping at my drink, I see Hawkins boisterously chatting up some reporters from Tempest today. He's got a grin on his face, so one can only imagine where he's told them about crashing the Airtal runway show last winter. Also, the fashion house literally just invited him to do exactly that. Okay. He always seems rather proud of that fact, doesn't he? Then there's Michael. He seems to be handling the press with a bit more finesse. Okay, I was like, is this gonna be Hawkins saying? No, it seems it might be all three of them then, so we should be able to get Frey. I see them gracefully shaking hands before impeccably timing when to sip at their drink. How clever. I might try that myself next time I don't want to answer a question. I'll just have to remind myself not to use it on Michael. As I start scoping around for Frey, I feel a hand smoothly take its way to my shoulder. Tell me that one you've got is a refill. You mean this drink? It happens to be my first one. You mean ever? Or as in tonight? Either way, we've got to do something about that. Do you though? Sigh, Michael glides in and puts himself between the two of us. Has Lorelei told you to be on your best behavior tonight? That's exactly what I was doing just now. Maybe this is Hawkins' route after all. Hawkins, buddy, I already romanced you. It's not your turn. I saw this precious creature had barely touched his drink, so I offered him another to catch up to me. You know, so he doesn't feel left out. Otherwise, it'd be cruel. Michael's like, you are no boy. Like, be so for real. Altair, do you care for another drink? I'm quite fine with this one. Alright then, I see no reason why this beast has to tempt you with more. This beast. Well, it might have something to do with all the yapping we've been doing already. My lip muscles are killing me, and we aren't even halfway done with tonight. Remember we all had to do... Remember when we all had to do was smile and look painfully awkward, and people would take that for an answer? Now they actually want to talk. Huh. I thought it was going to be your favorite part. It is once I get a few more refills in. Which, now that reminds me, excuse me. Oh, no you don't. Excuse us, Altera. I already see the Voyager Times try to catch Hawkins' eye, so I better go grab the boy and say hello first. What about Frey? Well, Frey is he even here? I saw him earlier, but it's Frey. Michael keeps glancing over their shoulder, searching for Hawkins, until their attention completely flutters away from me. I watch as they accompany Hawkins over to meet with another posh-looking group of journalists all ready to toast to them. No doubt butting them up before more questions, I'm sure. My gaze bounces off them, as I'm still wondering over Frey. Until, to my surprise, I spot him standing with his back against one of the studio doors. Frey? I know he can hear me, even if he's trying hard to look the other way. I finally reach him, as he turns to stare deeply into me. Yes. If I weren't holding a drink, I'd probably be buckling a little. Okay. Frey seems patient was my answer, and yet he keeps looking at his drink as if he wishes there were more. Am I disrupting something? Wouldn't you like to know? I'm only asking because there's only one type of guy who drinks alone. You're telling me you're the kind of guy? You want to get out of here? What, out? And go where? Out. Someplace out? Doesn't matter as long as it's anyone but here. Oh, bro does not like this kind of shit. Me too, boy. Me too. Glancing over his shoulder, Frey waits until the coast is clear before setting both our drinks on the nearest table, then signaling me towards him. Curious, I follow him as we quietly slip away towards the emergency stairs. Okay, Professor. Okay. The brisk night air welcomes us as we reach the parking lot. It's strange how this feels like a completely different world. I turn to Frey only to find him circling his sleek ebony hair with a smirk. Seriously? You're thinking of leaving? Wouldn't you after the first interview? Though I guess you know you're way better around a crowd. I'm sure I do, but I find it hard to believe you're ignoring the basics of showing up to an event. Well, I did my part just fine already. So, if you're done with yours, you can take the passenger seat. Let's go with the last one. Let's continue the trend. Only if you'll take me to the real party. If you want a party, then it's Hawkins you might have to pester. Which kind of escape are you offering me then? A pure one, perhaps? You seem kind of in a rush. Somewhere for me to believe that. Well, it's the truth. I don't have anything more to offer than just a simple escape. Though sometimes, a leap of faith should be enough, right? He's flashing me that smile at me, although I can't help but wonder how many times he's used it to make his escape. Do Hawkins and Michael at least know you're leaving? I'm sure they'll find out once we get back. Smirking, Frey pops open the passenger door for me. I suppose there's more than one way to ask the real questions, isn't there? I find myself glancing around just as he did before slipping inside. I have just enough time to get my seatbelt on before Frey starts off, turning serious upon the road. The second we leave the lot, Frey lets out a groan in relief. God, it's like night and day. Sometimes all it takes is literally getting away. We continue to drive through the city, the streets soon becoming a blur. Even then, Frey doesn't stop. Even then, Frey doesn't stop, nor does he seem to want to. He doesn't seem to have any destination in sight. But the further we get from the office, the more relaxed he's becoming in his seat. This is the image of a man who's been waiting for freedom. So, do you get to drive around like this anymore? I still try to make time for it, that's for sure. Nobody seems to say anything as long as I don't show up in the evening news. But if you're asking if I can just get out whenever, well, there's a certain clause that comes with signing your life away. And yet, you still signed the contract? Still the burning question, isn't it? To be fair, there's more than one reason someone might want to come back to this world. Before I can ask, Frey reverts his focus over to the next stop. So, he bites his lips when he's deep in focus. Okay, why are we looking at his lips though? checking. I was just checking because I got like a ping and I was like, oh, is this something important? I just immediately dropped it. Fuck. Whoopsie. Whoopsie. Anyways, why are we looking at his lips like that? Why are we looking at his lips? And if I didn't know better, he's playing a game waiting for the light to change. As if reading my mind, his gaze wanders back to me. Is this your first time? Does it look like it is? If I'm being honest, it's painfully obvious. Usually, when you've run off at least once or twice, it wears on your face. But you keep looking back at the road as if someone's coming. Wouldn't being cautious be something an experienced ditcher would do? Not if they trust in their methods. Good timing. We're just about there. So there is a destination. At the next light, Frey pulls up to a quaint shopping center decked in twinkling lights. Slipping on his mask and cap, he offers one out to me. Just in case your fans or foes are here too. Matching his expression, I take the mask as we begin walking. Not sure if you've been here before, but since it's your first time with me, welcome to the Ham village. Strangely enough, the one place I have to run into a student of mine. You'd think they'd frequent these kinds of aesthetic coffee and bookshops, huh? Well, there's quite a few other spots around town like this one, right? Yes, there sure are. Though they're much more crowded. I'm gonna sneeze. Okay. And to their misfortune, none of them have the best shop in the world. So, come on. Guiding me along, Frey leads us towards the main strip of shops ahead. He wasn't kidding about the amount of coffee shops and bakeries here. It also looks like there's a few German and Scandinavian restaurants nearby too. There's nearly a whole day's worth of activities here, but it seems like Frey only has one place in mind. As I look to Frey, he rushes straight for the last shop in the line, one decked in twinkling blue and golden lights. Smirking, he holds the door open for me. Psst, say hello. Hello? Suddenly, a jovial voice comes out from behind a fortress of books over the cash register. Hello, hello. Who goes there? Only your favorite troll. I've come to raid your classics again. Uh-huh, but you didn't come alone this time, did you? I've brought an accomplice with me, if that's what you're asking. That said, you know where to find us. Frey gives me another smirk before forging ahead. I hear the shopkeeper give a fond sigh as I wave over to the tower of books. Heading further inside, I'm surprised by how many books this little shop can carry. There's even books here in other translated languages and old dictionaries. Books with history behind each page and more stories to tell. I would love to go here. Would love to go here. There's nothing better than used books, huh? I mean, new ones have a certain luster to them. But when you know a book's been loved, it radiates from their pages. That's why this whole room is breathing with light right now. Like, take this for example. Drawing me in, Frey pulls an emerald, leather-bound book from the top shelf. He can barely hold his smile as he flips through it with me. Oh, he's cute. Oh, I like him. Even if he's a menace, he's really cute. He's a menace though, but he's so cute. I mean, I think all of them are menaces though. They're just different menaces. You see? All those dog-eared pages? All those annotations? Without a doubt, somebody had this book by their bedside for a long time. Maybe it was theirs, or their lovers, or maybe it was a heirloom. I follow his gaze over to the cover. Frank, I knew. I was like, green emerald is gonna be Frankenstein. I was right. I was right. Frankenstein makes for a very interesting heirloom. By the way, my preference is Dracula. I have that fucking book memorized. Huh, does it? This would be the precise book I'd make for one. A tale of the guilty creator and his suffering creation. You're quite free, even when the rules don't necessarily apply to them. I watch as Frey keeps flipping through the books over and over again, reading passages to himself. He's reading every word softly to himself, as if they're only meant for him. Yet, from the way he's standing beside me, his body's almost shielding mine. Does he want to read them to me? Hmm. A rumble in his voice. What? God, I need it. Slamming the book shut, he claps it to his chest. I feel, as much as I want to say the last one, I feel like that's not a good choice. It would be funny though, but I don't think it's a good choice. I feel like I'm between the first and the second one, honestly. I don't know, maybe the first was a little bit too mean, maybe? Well, not mean, just kind of like teasing him. And I feel like this is an appropriate situation. I'll go with the second one. I'll go with the second one. I'll go with the second one. Don't you already have 4 copies? You mean 5? Frey bites his lip at me, reading my surprise. That was a pretty good guess, you know. Most people would have said 2. It's one of the only things that they've never published about me. Well, you're barely needing to look at the book to recite any of it. Makes you wonder what other things I enjoy doing repetitively, huh? Okay. The way I see it, most people don't just explore something they like once, then move on. The first time you're seeing the surface as the pleasure blinds you. The second and third times you're beginning to pay attention to what makes them tick. The fourth and fifth time your instincts take completely over. Are we talking about books? Are we talking about books? Little by little, I find myself being back towards the shelf, till I'm pressed against a set of golden encyclopedias. All the while, Frey won't pull away from me, studying me for a second time. Tell me, is that what you guessed for? I was still talking about books. And what if I wasn't? I could clearly. Then I'd be wondering how you could obtain copies of the same person. Or, is that why you love Frankenstein so much? Has it been giving you some ideas? I need mad scientist. Frey. God, please. I don't need an experiment to know what I want. My gaze soon wanders back to the shelves of books, which are all brimming with just as much love and age. As I try to pick one out, Frey reaches up from behind me, his hand grazing mine. Which one did you want? His sultry voice carries to me in a whisper, the space growing thinner between us. To have me sandwiched between him and these treasures of books may just be exactly what he wants. Chris Austen here, or Thomas Love Peacock? Or did you want something not many people have read before? That depends. Is it available? Frey's eyes narrow and his smile grows. Are we talking about books? That depends. Do you... All at once his phone goes off between us. This is why I have my phone on silence. Damn. I know. I know that Frey swipes his phone out and silences it without even looking at the message. That's the warning call, no doubt. We're probably going to start wrapping up soon. Was that Hawkins or Michael? Does it matter? We still have to go. Well, I have to go. You can always stay here and just say you slipped out when you had the chance. I suppose I could, but then I'd be stealing your excuse. Fair enough. Well then, we better go. To my surprise, Frey picks up the copy of Frankenstein as we make our way out of the section. Without missing a beat, he swings near the cash register at the front. Hello, I'm leaving now, but I'm taking a treasure with me. Oh, great! I do say, he does seem to have a lovely voice. Does he now? Well, I'm sure he appreciates the compliment. I thought we were talking about the book for a sec. I was like, the book doesn't have a voice. You haven't said that about just any treasure. He drops his card onto the tower of books as he sneaks a look at me. Once the shopkeeper finishes ringing him up, Frey tucks the book back under his arms. I'll be back soon, alright? As long as you bring him back with you. Hi? As soon as we're out of the door, Frey holds back a laugh. At least we had enough. At least we had enough time to see the classics, right? I even had time to get you this. He gently pushes the leather-bound Frankenstein into my arms. Wait, is this for me? I thought this was going to be for your collection. It could have been. But I'd rather have you have one of your own. After all, not anyone would have escaped with me, even if this still wasn't total freedom. This was still something to you though, right? Holding on to my words, Frey turns to the shop with a gaze brighter than any of the twinkling lights across the village. This night meant the world to me. Aww. My cat at the door. Hold on, my cat might be at the door. Okay, we're good. Oh my god, we get to hear Frey's voice. Okay, what is Frey's voice?
So tell me, how much of that escape of ours might make it into your writing?
Okay.
I'm driving. You don't want me to use my hands to text and drive, do you? So, back to my prior question. Will I start seeing videos of fans looking for me at random bookstores anytime soon?
Let's read us off the record.
That seems too good to be true. What's the catch?
How about you treat me to something? In all seriousness though, I don't want you in your secret spot.
Well, I think there's another event coming up soon. How about escaping with me again, huh? I think I've got a new partner in crime.
And I generally thought Hawkins would be the worst out of the three of them. I think Frey might actually be at a similar level to Hawkins in just a completely different route. Okay. Let's get day 3. Well, obviously. Obviously. I'm pretty sure the interview follow-up we did this before. I'm pretty sure this is Hawkins. Lee is Abigail's younger sister. I feel like this could bring us some drama. So we're gonna go with that. And if we're lucky, it'll have Frey, but honestly, it might not have Frey, but it doesn't matter because I think it'll just give us some drama, so. Yippee. Okay. Knowing this would be my way to visit Frey's classroom, I've accepted his invitation to speak at one of his class lectures. That his students could use my insight while they're researching for their own literary papers, and I also wanted to see him in action. So it seems that today is a win-win situation for the both of us. I'm waiting in a seat nearby as he gets through class announcements. Finally, he acknowledges me with a single nod. Class, now you can meet our guest for today. Minotaur. Writer and journalist for Firebright magazine and our speaker for today regarding his own experiences in the field and the research he conducts for his pieces. To not bombard him all at once, I asked you all to submit some questions. So, I'll be asking those as we go. The students shift their attention to me as I stand up to face the class. Most of them seem pretty excited to have me here, yet others, it's hard to tell. I spot Lee amongst the crowd even as she's trying to stay low-key about being there. Oh shit, hi girl! Come to think of it, did Frey ever mention that Lee was taking his class, or even enrolled in school? Considering she's the new captain of Chocolate Juliet, I would have figured her idle activities have been taking up enough of her time. But of everyone in the class, she seems almost relieved to see me here, as if I'm the first familiar face she's seen in a while. I hope that I'm wrong about that. With the class settled and ready for my talk, I turn to Frey for the signal. You can start any time. Okay, then I'll start off with the classroom door swings open and a posh-looking student trudges inside. Is this Abigail? I swear to God, this is Abigail. Clad in a mask and shades, she casts a look at me. So, are you the new sub now that he's gone? Before I can even answer, Frey clears his throat loudly. Never mind. I was like, sorry, I saw red for a second there. I don't like Abigail. Sorry, Marina. You haven't gotten rid of me yet. You're also late, so remember the rules. But I was doing another shoot, remember? The Neptune campaign? The other students are quickly beginning to shift their attention to Marina now that she's said the buzzwords. Oh, so she's... Oh, she's Oracle. Oh, she's Oracle. Oh, she's Oracle. If I'm going to be dinged for that, I'm gonna tell them you forgot. Just go sit down. So it seems like this class definitely has its share of celebrities. And if I'm not mistaken, Marina here thinks the room might only be big enough for one of them. Frey sighs under his breath as Marina strides past him and plops herself down into the first empty seat she can find. Wait. Oh, hold on. I need to check back to... I think the second stream we did when we were doing Hawkins Route, like towards the ending. Because something happens. I don't want to spoil if you guys want to go back and check that. But something happens, and I think the person there is Marina. And this might confirm some of the suspicions I had back then. We'll see. Frey sighs under his breath as Marina strides past him and plops herself down into the first empty seat she can find. Not wasting time, Frey tries to bring the spotlight back to me. Sorry, Altair, you were saying? I was just going to start taking the first question you had from that list, Professor. Frey blinks at me for a moment, taken by surprise. Oh, was it? Frey? Should I be looking at you suspiciously for this? Or not? Oh, was it the professor that he wasn't expecting? Or is it something else? I'm tempted to ask him later, but I remain silent for now as he raises an eyebrow at me. The first question it is then. How do you go about handling difficult interviews? I'm also curious to hear about your process. You've had your fair share of difficult interviews, huh? Right? I can think of a couple, but difficult interviews are just part of the job. Most people aren't used to being interviewed in general, so it's naturally going to take some time to get them to open up. They eventually will as long as you keep looking for a way to let them know you want to truly listen. But what if they catch on? What do you do then? They can make their own choices, Professor. My job is to write about what they stand for and what's important to them, so I have to be patient. But I'm sure it takes more than just patience to deal with people who don't like letting someone else be in control. In that case, my job would be making sure they know there's two people in control. I can only control so much of the narrative without having enough material. So I have to find the common ground, whether it be what inspires them or what they wish could be different. And if they're being difficult about discussing any of those things, then that says a lot more about them on its own. Sometimes it's even better that way. Would you prefer it if... I'm gonna kill this man. I need this man. No necesito muerto. What is wrong with you? Would you prefer if I was difficult to handle then, for an interview? The class breaks into a small laugh, yet only a few of them seem to notice how invested Frey is in trying to get me to stumble. I wouldn't be surprised by now if some students are beginning to connect the dots, or at least suspecting something. I know that Lee knows that Frey's trying to egg me on with that look of his, and with how he's crossing his arms. Seriously, Frey? Now I know what you're really doing right now. I have to choose. I don't care. First one. I have to choose the first one. I have to do the first one. Actually, I personally enjoy handling you. Like I said, sometimes playing difficult speaks for itself. What kind of conclusion would you make from it if, let's say, I was that person? He's keeping the discussion right on track, and yet the way he's asking me in that strong, clear voice has my thoughts running through a blender. Scanning the class, I gather my thoughts. Any conclusion I'd be making would come from observing your expression or body language after asking you a question. I can learn a lot about you from the way you might start relaxing your seat or you try shifting away from me mid-interview. The same goes for eye contact. Of course. In an interview, you also want me to be looking at you at all times. So you know... This man. Bro. At an interview, you'd also want me to be looking at you at all times, so you know that you have my full attention, right? So, you would know when I'm not lying to you? People can still lie regardless. So, all I can do is hope for the truth if I keep you relaxed. And you think you know exactly how to do that? With your subject, I mean. I can't do this. I can't with this man. Yes, all it takes is patience and strategy, Professor Frey. Frey leans back, seemingly relaxed. He doesn't look away from my gaze, making it seem like we've just exchanged a secret. Alright then, ready for the next question? This one is just as interesting. How do you go about choosing which angle to write your How do you go about choosing which angle to write your piece from? Running the question in my head, I once again face the class. When you're working on a piece, that's usually one of the first things you'll want to start considering. For example, for this recent piece, I see something out of the corner of my eye. My eyes glance to the window along with the rest of the class. And that's when I see her. She's coming this way, dressed in a floaty summer dress and matching sandals with her hair flying behind her like she's walked straight out of a Chocolate Juliet music video. She's moving in this direction now, the excitement lighting up in her eyes. As I follow her gaze, she's this Abigail. Bring me back, Marina. Fuck this. Abigail? Did he know that she was coming? Just as I turned to Frey with a raised eyebrow, the students are already starting to flock towards the windows for a better view. That's her! That's really her! Now the phones are coming out. The only people who seem barely surprised with these are Marina, who's been mentally checked out from this class since it started, and Lee, who's looking ready to escape. Oh, poor Lee. So I'm guessing Lee wasn't expecting her sister to visit either? The students are shuffling towards the door as Frey starts to realize he's not dreaming. Once he notices that he's lost his students, Frey grits his teeth. God, of all times. Holding back a sigh, Frey walks past all the students to get to the door. He's too late, however, as Abigail pops inside. Sorry, don't mind me, but I said come say hi. Don't mind you? You know what I mean. I was in the area, and they said it was fine if I just wanted to meet some fans. The team's with me and everything, so it's not like I came alone. I don't see them anywhere, though. Oh, they're around, I promise. Anyway, this is your classroom? It's so cute, it reminds me of the one where we filmed Endless Kisses music video. Girl, back up! I already did this shit with you and Hawkins. Do not fucking make me repeat myself. Except, ours was just a set. Abigail's eyes seem glanced to her own sister, yet Lee remains as stone-faced as Frey in her seat. I love you, Lee. Catching on, Abigail diverts her smile to a cluster of fans close to the door. So, what are you teaching them today, Professor? Actually, we have Frey stops as Abigail finally notices me at the front of the classroom. She looks me up and down before pretending to admire the lectern setup instead. Girl. Bitch. Wow, sometimes I really miss being in a classroom like this. Even just a high school classroom. I never really got to be in one. And neither did you, Professor. Abigail, I see you have me confused for Hawkins. I did go to class back then. Ew. Ooh. Oh, this comment is loaded. For anyone who's been watching this since the first starting with Hawkins, this comment is loaded. Ooh. Oh, I guess I do. Well then, why don't you teach us all something, Professor Frey? I don't mind being a student for the day. Fine, in that case. Everyone, let's get back to our seats and continue our discussion. As you were saying, Altair, you had an example? I do have one. Actually, I have a lot of examples where I'll start with a direction of a piece and then I'll start building a connective thread. If I'm writing about a specific person, I'll also consider interviewing their family, loved ones, and coworkers too, just to consider their perspectives. But most importantly, I'll take note of the different environments I'm interviewing the particular person so that I can... Suddenly, Abigail stands up from her seat. Oh, sorry, Sally, I've got to run already. Shut the fuck up. She feigns frustration as she waits her phone at Frey. The car should be here any minute, so I only have a few minutes to get a few pics with anyone who's interested. You wouldn't mind, would you, Professor? You're so annoying! Kick her out, get out! I'll send them all right back to you as soon as we're done. Frey can barely bring himself to look at her as several students are already following her outside. The rest of them saves the chance to sneak in a break as Maria struts off with other students trailing behind. I can hear them chattering excitedly outside of the classroom. Frey seems livid right now. Yeah, me too, boy! Lee is the last in the classroom, holding her phone tightly in her hands. She comes up to me before heading to the door. All the things I needed today, this wasn't one of them. Wouldn't be surprised if that's what she's thinking too. You mean Frey? As much as he denies it, Frey likes having visitors. He just doesn't like surprise ones. Clenching her phone tightly in her hands, Lee ducks out of the classroom to join the mass of students heading towards the quad area. Looks like everyone's taking a break from class, including Frey. I stay at the front of the classroom in silence. I can't bring myself to just leave. It's not until I turn to the window when Frey finally approaches me. You know I'm sorry, right? All of these interruptions, I hate them. You didn't plan for them to happen. Or did you? What do you think? Honestly, I thought you stopped trying to figure out my teaching schedule. Oh. Then again, I somehow keep forgetting that she can pay people to find me. Oh! Oh! Oh, buddy! Hearing the strain in his voice, my eyes look at the unmistakable bottle of sleeping pills in his bag and the untouched cup of black coffee on the lectern. Oh, Frey, and the worst part of it, he was a fucking rebound. Well, I'm sure it's hard to plan against surprise visits when you're running on less than 5 hours of sleep. Make that 4. I know you're telling me not to apologize, but you can't stop me. I'm not. Fuck that bitch. Then I won't stop you. But before you apologize, why is Abigail really here? She seemed awfully excited to see you. That's only because she succeeded in tracking me down. So, what you're saying is that you only see her outside of work? I'm about to smooth my hand along the lectern when he presses his hand down on mine. He's not subtle at all about this, but I don't think I minded. For the record, I'm not seeing her inside or outside of anywhere. If today weren't obvious, I don't tell people where I'm at or who I'm with. She doesn't have that kind of access to me anymore. Anymore? I mean it, Altair. Not even Hawkins and Michael come by visiting whenever they want. Yeah, because Hawkins and Michael are good friends who understand boundaries. Usually. At least they understand them in a non-malicious... Like, they understand them in a non-malicious way. And sometimes they break them in a non-malicious way. Because Frey needs to get his ass to bed. Because he's tired. Bro needs to sleep. They know the campus is my other professional workplace. What's more, it's not for anyone to come to reminiscent about class they never had. Gosh, I cannot speak. It really goes through quite a bit to carve your space here, don't you? This place isn't for sightseeing visitors. Still, you invited me here. I can sense it's getting warm between us, but it's the way he's holding my hand that's grabbing my attention. Frey brings himself closer. Say you believe me? I already do, Frey. I'm just trying to understand what Abigail wants from you. Unlike me, she properly graduated from her group when she did. Now that she's gone solo, she's been doing more music than ever, and she's trying to find her niche. So, why would an established idol want to show up for class? Is it something other than the obvious? Maybe, but she's not the one I invited here today. I know someone could come in at any minute, but I can't pull away from him just yet. I'm willing to get lost in that gaze of his for as much time that's left. Lost in silence, we gravitate towards each other at the same time. Yet, just when I think we've reached a certain point of no return... Psst, you two! They're coming back now. Thank you, Lee. I love you, Lee. You're a queen. I hope nothing but the best for her. We both break apart from each other as Lee rushes into the classroom and takes her seat. Frey draws a breath, brushing his bangs back as he turns to her. Did your sister leave already? She just left for the parking lot, but who knows? You should probably have someone check the vents. I just might have to ask for that. The two of them share a great smile before one by one the students come back inside. Most of them are too starstruck to remember that I'm still here, but at least now I don't have to be worrying about anybody catching me staring in Frey's direction. Oh boy, okay. Oh, do we have another message from him? We do!
Hey. I never got to apologize to you in person before you left. I'm really sorry for what happened in class.
His voice is so nice.
The least I can do is sincerely apologize via voice.
No. Abigail isn't something you can control.
You're not wrong, but it still doesn't sit well with me. I feel like I owe you.
Oh, with a nice cup of coffee.
I see. The next time we meet, I'll make the interview worthwhile for you then.
Oh, did he say it like that? Cool. Thank you, Frey. Very cool, Frey. Let's continue. I get to interview Lee. My girl. If they ever do a DLC for Stellifier, I hope it's to romance Lee. I wanna... I like her. From the few scenes we've had with her, I really like her. She's probably my favorite side character. Imagine my surprise when Lee of Chocolate Juliet agreed to be interviewed about Stellifier today. I planned on asking her before, but I hadn't expected for her to come in offering on her own time. Now she's been taking a trip down memory lane about her early idol days while watching them take flight. But not every answer has been a light stroll for her. I guess there's a half of me who's always seen them as my seniors in a way. We used to spend so much time rehearsing with them, which was surprising since all of us members got to spend time regularly with them. However, it was my sister Abigail and several older members who got to do more of the promotional activities with them when she was captain. But people had a lot to say about those ads. Sitting on my desk, her gaze drifts between my laptop and the quiet escape of the office. I think that was around when they began to suspect she was seeing one of them, but they just didn't know who it was. Who did people suspect the most? Hawkins, and they were right about it. Some people also thought it was Frey, if only they knew they were off by a few years. Sensing a change in her, I decided to set my notes aside and relax in my seat and hope she will too. So, what can you exactly tell me more about those three? I'm aware that there was some kind of love triangle, but it sounds like you got to witness most of the timeline. I'm surprised you're not asking Abigail about this. Did she not want to tell you anything? I actually haven't had a chance to interview. To be honest, that might be for the best. Although I guess in your position, you might enjoy hearing about it from someone who takes love triangles seriously as a sport. As for what I know, I doubt Frey would enjoy letting me say anything about it. What about Hawkins? Oh, he loves to tell the world how messy he is. Frey, on the other hand, he's a private one. My Pookie. If I had to take a guess, the only reason why he wasn't so private when it came to Abigail has a lot more to do with what he might have been trying to prove. And I don't mean to her, but to Stellifier. I watch as Lee adjusts her elegant beret as her sable hair cascades down her shoulders. Both she and Abigail do look so much alike, almost like twins, but their personalities could not be more different. I guess that explains why Frey is more willing to talk to her than whenever Abigail has come by. If anything, Lee could be the only person who'd give me the best angle of him. So, did Frey ever say anything about missing Stellifier in all that time? Honestly, if he did, he never said it out loud to me or my sister. That could also be because Abigail used to insist that he should call the others and try to make up, but he must have known why she was so pushy about it. If he didn't then, he probably does know now. Did it have anything to do with her and Hawkins again? God, I don't like Abigail. Lee merely answers me with a dark smile. I told you. Love triumphs can be a sport to some people. especially when you think about how often we have to hide the people we're seeing. It just adds a whole new layer to the secret. Nodding with her, I'm itching to write this all down, but I don't want to disturb the casual flow of our conversation. She thinks you're here for the same reason, you know. At once I perk up. Come again? She thinks you've been hanging out with them for more than just to cover the concert. Forget going with the flow, I need my notes stat. Yeah, bitch! This time, I don't hesitate to reach for my tablet, even if it does make Lee stiffen slightly. Why does Abigail think that's what's going on? Because she thinks that about every person who starts spending time with them, especially Frey. That's insane. No, actually, that's insane. Because Frey is her fucking rebound. So this means that she still sees him as a fucking backup? Is that it? Is that what you're telling me? Are you telling me that? Are you telling me that? Because that's fucking insane. That's insane. Why not Hawkins? I think she's accepted that Hawkins isn't never going to let someone dominate him. So, for as much as she insists that he's the only one who could ever set her world on fire, but in her eyes, at least Frey still has a chance to be tamed. He really is just the backup to her. Oh my god. To become her savior in this industry, her good guy, her prince. I guess I should take this as a sign that this interview is over. Once I reluctantly set my notes aside, Lee takes a hint and starts rising for her seat. Sorry if you weren't expecting that. I just thought it'd be better if you heard it from me than her. No, I'm gonna be an asshole. No, it's just like, oh, I'm gonna be nice, I'm gonna be polite, I'm just gonna let it I'm just gonna let it just wash past me. No, I don't care, I'm picking a fight with her, I don't care. Let her try me. This wouldn't be the first time someone assumes things about me. I sure don't doubt that, but I hope it's been nice to get to know them. I've grown up with them for so long, I see them as practically like my older siblings. Oh. Doesn't sound like Abigail sees them in the same light. Between you and me, she was muttering in our apartment the other day about how Frey said he couldn't meet up because he had an interview. She assumed you were the one keeping him behind. I stopped in my tracks, trying to recall my schedule. I'm not sure if that was even me. Oh, wait a minute, I do remember now. Frey stayed behind to show me his writing process for Stellifier's new lyrics. Except it got kind of late, so we ended up getting some takeout in the studio instead. Don't let Abigail ever find out about the takeout part. I did say she could try me. If you mean it, it's not worth it, especially for Frey's sake too. Yeah, as much as I want to pick a fight with her, it's probably not a good idea, just for Frey. Ironically, she's only like this with Frey, even if she's just as intense about Hawkins. I'm sure it has something to do with those months that pretty much spent holed up in his apartment together. Almost dropped my notebook as I nearly jumped out of my seat. Wait, they were after Stellifier disbanded? A little while after, yes, when he was studying at the university. I once got Abigail to tell me about how they would just sit in the dark because he didn't want to do anything except study while she ranted to him about wanting to leave Chocolate Juliet. Sounds healthy, huh? I'm starting to see what she feels like she's seen another side to him nobody else has. That's all it is. Just one other side. Yeah, not even a good girl. If anything, there's clearly more to Frey than that. You see, that's what I wished Abigail would have said about him. At least then, I wouldn't be worried if the Frey she's into is the one who only exists in her head. And I think idols are that much different from their fans. Ooh. Between you and me, I honestly only think she tried to downplay her idol status was him because his last girlfriend wasn't even in the industry. You mean the girlfriend he had back when he was in school? I meant the one he used to be Stellifier's fan club's president. Now I really don't even know what to say. With every new question, I keep finding 3 new leads. But how far is going too far? This is a lot to hear all at once. Oh, I'm sure. It's been surreal watching this play out for so long. I don't even want to think that what I'd do if I went out and found someone while being stuck at the new sugary sweet captain now that Abigail's gone solo. I'd be lying if I said it. I'd be lying if I didn't say that watching those 3 didn't kill my drive for love scandals, and maybe even watching dramas. Ouch. Ah, don't worry. I'm too busy for them anyway. I will say though, for all the things my sister has done, I should admit that she also wasn't afforded a lot of freedoms back then. I'm pretty sure that's something that even Stellifier can sympathize with. I'm sure they do too. I think we've picked a good place to stop then. I left Lee sleep her mask and shades on before we head to the parking lot to wait for her car to arrive. Seriously, thanks for coming by, Lee. I can't thank you enough for the talk. Same. This was nice. Normally, I don't like doing most interviews, but, Frey speaks highly of me. Oh, he talks about me. Frey speaks highly of you. He talks about me. He does? I'd say more, but he'd probably get ultra grumpy if I did. Well, he better not be too grumpy since I've got to interview him right after this. As a matter of fact, I told him we'd meet at Hamel Village nearby. Oh, do you want me to drive? Do you want my driver to take you there? I have to head out that direction too for a fitting. His voice trails off as soon as someone comes walking by. Turn around expecting for it to be her driver when I recognize those icy liquid blue eyes and cunning smile. What the fuck you doing over here, boy? After all these years, he still looks the same as he does in an early Stellifier poster. Oh, never mind. Right, he doesn't. I almost forgot Frey doesn't have blue eyes. Oopsie. Haley, is that you in that getup? Ansley take notice of the way Lee withdraws from Chris, unwilling to meet his gaze. Seriously, is that you? Does your manager know you're here, or would you like me to let them know? I feel like you should say something. Once he starts to approach us, I deliberately stop into his path. Excuse me, but we have a strict privacy policy here at Firebright Magazine. You really think I don't know how this works? Well, you're practically blurring out her name in public, so what are you really trying to accomplish here? I'm an old friend, that's all. Back up. Okay, so, fuck Abigail, but triply fuck Chris. Because, like, with Abigail, as much as I dislike her, and I hate her ass because of the shit she does, like, I can understand her. I can comprehend her. I don't like Chris, period. Like, bro is a nepo baby. I don't care for his ass. Fuck off. Actually, it's her sister who's more of a friend. Isn't that true, Lee? Huh, I don't remember you ever following the rules about talking to men at all, so this must be new. Oh, he's a pup. There's no rule against that. Oh, so then you just don't want to say hello? Fine, I can take the hint then. Fuck off. Say hi to your sister for me though. She owes me a phone call. Seeing how he's not getting anywhere with her, Chris turns his sights onto me. At least I know you're not bound by the same restrictions. So, I take it this is where you actually work, Do you want to at least give me a tour? Maybe I can help answer a few questions for you. Like hell— Hi, Frey! Like hell you will. Hi. 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 Rose hair, bats eyelashes. Hi. All of a sudden, Frey comes running in straight between us, shielding me away from Chris. It all happens so fast that even Lee pulls me back, unsure of what Frey is going to do next. Frey, what are you doing here? Frey doesn't answer, his focus entirely fixed on Chris. What the hell do you think you're doing here? Me? What about you? I was just on my way when I saw Lee. Don't give me that. You knew they'd be here. Hold on, what is Frey trying to say? I turn to Lee, but she's just as confused, and even a little creeped out. I guess this makes two of us. I stand beside her as Frey keeps an arm between us and Chris. You stay away from them, you got that? Just because you don't care who spots you and starts rumors about you doesn't mean they need to be caught in your web. Oh. This man was— so Lee literally is like, I don't want any love scandals. I don't want that kind of shit. No thank you. I'm busy. I don't have time for that shit. And Chris comes here like, hello, I am a nepo baby. I get whatever I want because my father owns the company that all of these people work for. I'm gonna start a love scandal. I hate this man. This is rich coming from the guy who's had plenty of more rumors made of him than of me. And you think these two would be should be trusting you? All because you think playing Prince is what it takes to convince anybody that you're a saint? I don't like this man. I'm telling you to stay away from them. That's not up for debate. It sure isn't with that attitude, Professor. I'm not the one who's overreacting here, just remember that. Chris flashes a smile in our direction before turning back to the street. Okay, so if you ever meet someone like this, and you can get away with it, punch them. If you can't, try to get away from them. Like just ignore, move, just try to get away from those motherfuckers. Do not approach bitches like this, because bad. Really bad. Those are like probably one of the worst type of people you can find. Do not approach. The three of us watch him closely for which way he leaves, or if he has a car waiting for him nearby. Once the coast is clear, Frey barely has time for a sigh before turning to us. Sorry about that. I hope he didn't say anything else to you, Lee, or else we're going to your manager right now. Frey, relax. I know he's trash already. Besides, he didn't get very far once Altair told him to stop. Is that true, Altair? I wasn't about to let him expose her identity out in public. He better not sing to expose yours either. Just as he moves towards me, a sleek black car stops just before us. Oh, here's my ride. Did you still need a ride, Altair? No, I'm here now. I'll make sure we get back safely. Frey almost reaches for my hand until he notices Lee watching us while getting to the car. I mean, she probably already has it figured out. What about you, Lee? Do you need me to talk to your manager? I'll be fine, honest. I'm not so worried for myself about Chris and knowing that he still regularly talks to my sister. If anything, it's her who might need a chat with her manager. I hope she understands where they're coming from. Stay safe, alright? Oh, and do your homework. How about you stay safe and do your homework too? The military safe has to be worth half of your grade. With one last smile, Lee adjusts her shades and then motions her driver to head out. I love Lee. I love her so much. She's my pookie. Watching her leave, I partly wish I'd gone with her mainly for the extra privacy. After that encounter, Chris could very well still be watching us. Once we're alone, Frey turns back to me. Seriously, are you right? I don't know how many run-ins you've had with him before. Well, I know he's around. He's well connected too. He really is. Although you'd think he'd be too busy to be trying to scope out what the rest of us are doing. Years back, I used to have a nagging feeling that he would keep tabs on Lee after she became after she became captain. As his voice drops, I'm almost afraid to ask what I might already know. Does Lee know about this nagging feeling of yours? She does, but she keeps assuring me that she's safe. Frankly, I wish Abigail would be around more to assure me of that, but she has her own schedule to adhere to. At the very least, Lee knows that she can call me or one of the others if he tries anything. You really are like an older brother to her. She's not at all what you'd expect from a chocolate Juliet idol. In a way, I can resonate with that. People are always assuming that I'm some elegant bastard outside of those tunics and stage lights. For the most part, I'm willing to let them have that belief, as long as there's a handful of people out there who know the truth. Am I one of those people? Am I one of those people? My question takes Frey slightly by surprise, yet he doesn't move his hand away. I thought you knew already. I just wanted to be sure. I know we haven't known each other for very long. Funny you say that when most of the people who claim to know me so well hardly know what I'm really like. I know about the Frey with a pretty face who didn't know what to do with himself as a kid, so everyone kept telling him to become an idol. Also that they could later get a douse of rebellious Frey who had imploded when he still didn't know what to do with himself even after he'd gotten everything he wanted. Well, everyone who I've been interviewing lately has had nothing but praise and care for you. Well, I'm sure a lot of them are being sincere, but I also don't think I necessarily deserve all their praise, nor does that mean they really know me. If anything, you're one of the only few I've ever told before about all these doubts. Could it be any clearer for you? Staring down his hand on mine, I find myself shaking my head. Actually, you're being crystal clear. Despite wanting to come closer, Frey can't help but watch out into the street for the same worry I have. We should go. Do you still want to head to the village, or should we find someplace else for today? What would you prefer, Frey? Honestly, no matter where we go, I'll be fine as long as you let me stay by your side. Should we just keep going then? Okay. Pulling me in closer, Frey keeps our hands secretly tucked against him as we start walking together, leaving the silent sanctuary behind. Okay, we'll check the socials, check the text. Oh, never mind. Okay. What do we have with you? What do I have with expression? Oh, he's singing face. Oh, my boy. I'm putting him in this. Okay. Um, as much as I would love to continue and do day 4, I am unfortunately feeling my voice start to get a bit worn out. Generally, because I had to do a lot of speaking today. I had a lot of things I had to speak for today, so that's why. Anyways, regardless, this does mean we will continue Stellifier next week on Wednesday. Um, Today was on Thursday because I wasn't feeling all too good yesterday, so I was like, okay, I should probably just switch to the next day. So yeah, but anyways, typically speaking, for anyone that's new, visual novels happen on Wednesdays, so we will continue Stellifier then. As a general thing, though, um, tomorrow I might or I might not do an art stream. I'm not sure. It generally depends on how I feel up to it and stuff like that. On Saturday I have a collab at 2 p.m. GMT, and then at 9 p.m. GMT we have Cult of the Lamb as usual. And then on Sunday we have Lobotomy Corporation as usual. So yes, for anyone who's new, who likes just watching the streams and stuff like that, at the same time that I started this stream, we will always have Cult of the Lamb and Lobotomy Corporation on Saturday and Sundays respectively, unless there's some scheduled collab or some other thing that I decide like, hey, like I want to check this out at this time, stuff like that, then we'll do that then, right? Okay. Anyways, having said that, if you want to support me, you can go to Ko-fi. You can check my throne out, or I am very proud to announce that I am an official affiliate for Waifu Wares. And if you check my card, and then you check on support, you check on and you click on the Waifu Wares thing, the discount will be automatically added to your purchases. Otherwise, just simply Alter Delirio at checkout will give you a 15% off discount to anything you buy, unless it states otherwise. Yeah, but yeah, really happy to say that I'm officially a Waifu Wares affiliate. Very proud to say that. All that. Anyways, with all that said, thank you for coming. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, all those things. Keep it on YouTube. You know how it works. And I will see you guys maybe tomorrow, but definitely on Saturday. Either for the collab or Cult of the Lamb, whichever one you prefer to see. For the collab, by the way, it'll be keep talking and nobody explodes. Explodes. You know? we might explode because I cannot speak, but that's fine. Anyways, with all that said, thank you for stopping by, everybody. I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye bye, guys. Bye bye.